Okay, I'm just going to give it a second. I know that people are just getting their notifications and I'm going live. And I guess while people are getting those notifications and starting to get logged on, I'll go ahead and just kind of go over some of the basics for those of you who are watching this on replay. Now, number one was not assigned as homework, but I am going to go over it just so, again, you can see those basics. So I have two shapes here, or I have one shape, but I'm going to partition it into two shapes so I can actually draw a line so that I have two rectangular prisms. So I need to figure out what is the length, what is the width, what is the height of the first figure. I know that the entire thing is 3 inches, but I don't know the length of this one. What I should see is that this is 1, so this one is 1. Now, that also means that this one is 1. So if this one is you love so far, but I did just... Hey, so I just learned how annoying it is for somebody to text me in the middle of a live feed. All right. Anyways, so the width, I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to follow it down until I find it. Oh, the width is 2. So this width is 2. This width is 2. This width is 2. This width is 2. So again, when I'm looking at I want to find the volume for this figure. Now I have the length is 1. And I'll do it over here. I'm sorry, Nicole. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick. I hope you feel better. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the reviews to get ready for our test. We have a test on Thursday. So if you have a chance, you might want to look back at some of those videos. If not, no worries. We'll get you caught up tomorrow. I know that you're pretty good at getting caught up, but I hope you're feeling a little better. Okay, so the length, and again, I'm just going to look at that very first prism and get the length of that one. So I got a length of 1. The width is 2. And again, we found the height of this one was also 2 because I knew the total thing was 3 and this piece was labeled as 1. So it is going to be 2 as well. So if I multiply those 3 numbers, 1 times 2 times 2, that'll give me the total volume of this figure. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So the volume of this piece is 4. And now I'll find the volume of this piece. So what is the length of this piece? Again, when I told you think length, think laying down, length, lay. The length of this one is length times width times height. The length is 4. Good job, Ava. Yes, that is correct. Is 4. What is the width? How wide is it? Right. The width is 2. And the height is 1. So I have my length again as 4, my width is 2, and the height is 1. And of course, we've talked about if you accidentally reverse the order, it doesn't matter. You'll still get the correct answer. Good job, Nehemiah. Ava and Nehemiah, I will give you guys a treat tomorrow for your active participation. So I'm just going to multiply together these 3 numbers. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 1 gives you a total volume of 8. So I figured out the volume of this figure was 4, and the volume of this figure is 8. Oh, good job, Nehemiah and Ava. Yay! Now what do I need to do to find the total volume of the entire figure? Right, I'm going to add together the 2 volumes. 4, good job, Ava, 4 plus 8. And when I add those together, that will tell me how many cubic inches I have. And I'm going to go ahead and put cubic inches. So I got one answer came in. Good job. That is correct. It is 12 cubic inches. So now let's move on and look at number 2. Again, oh, good. Yes, excellent. That is exactly right, Nehemiah. Good. I'm glad you got that since you have been out. Now, again, we have talked about how you can partition it in 2 different ways. I can partition it here or here. I'm just going to draw it across so that I have one larger one and a smaller one. So I have to find the volume of figure 1, and I'll find the volume of figure 2, and then I'll join together the two volumes. So let's look at figure 1 first. So I'm just going to look at that prism right there, that rectangular prism. So again, I need to multiply my length times my width times my height for each figure. So length times width times height of figure 1, and then I'll have plus length times width times height of figure 2. Now this is a level 4 question, but for many of you, you're shooting to get that 4 or 5. This is a great question to work on. So what is the length of the first figure? Length longwise. Right, the length is 14 times the width. How wide is it? Right, I don't see it labeled here, here, or here, but if I follow it around, it is 12 wide. Very good, Nehemiah. And if I look for the height, I don't see it labeled here, but if again, follow it around, I do see that the height is labeled right here. So my height is 2. So I have 14 times 12 times 2 for that will give me the volume of that figure. And now if I look at my second figure, again, what is the length of the second figure? Very good. The length of the second figure is 6 times the width. How wide is it? Okay, the width is 4. And if you look at the height, good job again, excellent. The height, I don't see it labeled here, but again, I talked about in class, continue to follow the figure around and you'll eventually see that it's labeled right here. The height is 2. So this one is going to take a little bit of double digit multiplication for sure to solve. This one's not, so we'll do this one really quick because I can solve this one quick. 6 times 4 is, good, 6 times 4 is 24. And then drop down your times 2, so I have an equivalent value. And do 24 times 2. Good, 24 times 2 is 48. So the figure 2 volume is what got you 48. Good job, Nehemiah. Oh, I'm so happy with you because you were out and you just like, you already got it. Awesome. So that definitely means you did good practice last night. So this one was smaller, so the numbers are smaller, but this is much at the depth of a 5th grade standard. Our 5th grade skill really is being able to do that double digit multiplication. Now, I don't know these two off the top of my head, but I could lump together and multiply 12 times 2 first. So 12 times 2 is what? Right, 12 times 2 is kind of like saying 12 plus 12, which is 24. So I can now do 14 times 24. And I should have done this on a separate sheet of paper, but hey. So I'm going to do 14 times 24 now because I dropped down the 14 times. And again, 12 times 2 was 24. Where'd you get the question mark? What's your question, Nehemiah, before I move on? So I had these 3 lengths and I chose, yes, not 48, definitely not 48, it's 24. 12 times 2 gave me the 24. And now I'm going to multiply it by that third dimension of 14. I can't multiply it this way. It's double digit multiplication. So I'm going to kind of go over here to the side. And again, I'm 14 times 24. So 14 times and then 24. I don't have the right paper now. No, you don't have the right paper, Nehemiah. There's another video from last night's. This is tonight's, and since you weren't in class, but follow along. And if you want, if you write it down on a separate sheet of paper, since you're already watching the video, you could just turn the sheet of paper. You don't necessarily have to have this actual worksheet, but just turning in the paper that shows that you were working out with me is completely fine. Otherwise, you can get the sheet and then do it tomorrow night, but we're doing page 241. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16. So you drop down your 6 and regroup your 1. 4 times 4 is 4, but plus 1 more is 5. And again, many zoos means I need to drop down my 0. So many zoos, many, multiply again. And now I'm going to multiply my tens place. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 1 is 2. Many zoos, many animals. Now I just need to add together my two partial products. Take a moment and add those together, see what you get before I give it to you. Yay, Nehemiah, many zoos, many animals. Woo! Just kidding, how are you? Get a little nutty. All right, so 6 and 0 is 6. 5 plus 3 is 13. So drop down your 3 and regroup your 1. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. Oh, you were so close, Ava. You forgot to add your 6 and 0. You're so close. Super, super close. Which is good because that means you're most up. See, you totally got it. I was like, how'd she miss that? But yeah. Okay, perfect. You got it. Awesome. So now I have 336. Now, as a distractor on your test, I guarantee you that that would be an answer choice because they're going to know that you're going to get that big number and you're going to stop and you're like, I'm done. But I'm not done because that 336 is actually representative of this 336, which is only that one figure. So distractor answer choices would actually be 336 and 48. They know that you will probably solve for one of them, but as Ava is pointing out, you have to add both of these together. You get so close, don't get lazy on it. So I'm just going to over here drop down, add 48, since I already have all that work there. So take a moment, add those two together, and it's just so important. I can't tell you how purposefully evil they are for giving you those distractors, but they just know that you're going to stop there. You're going to be tired. You're going to think, oh, I spent a lot of time solving that. I'm done. And you're not. So you got like 30 more seconds to actually solve it. So 6 plus 8 is 14. So drop down your 4 and regroup your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, but plus 4 more is 8, and then 3 plus nothing is 3. So your actual answer is 384 centimeters cubed or cubic centimeters. All right, since you two are on, I'm just going to ask you two, and you can decide for everybody. Do you want me to do number 4 with you, yes or no? Yes, good job, Ava. 384. Oh, we got somebody else on. I wonder who else is on. Okay, so he says yes, so perfect. Again, I'm going to take this and split it into 2 rectangular prisms. And so draw your line here. Now I have 2. And again, I'm going to look at, find the volume of figure 1, find the volume of figure 2, and then I would add them together. So again, I would do length times width times height. I know, who else is on? I don't know. I want to know. I wish I could see. I don't know. I'm like obsessed with this live feed thing now. I don't know why I never did it before. You guys convinced me. You win. I don't know. I'm a little nutty. All right, anyways. So look at figure 1. This one's pretty easy because all your numbers are there. So take a minute and just figure out what 3 numbers you're multiplying. There's not a whole lot of looking, which is much better than here where we're actually looking for a missing number. Right. If we look at this figure, our length is 12 times width is 6 times the height is 4. Does it matter what order you put those numbers in? Good job, Ava. Right. It doesn't matter what number, what order I put these in. If I accidentally said, oh, 6 times 4 times 12, does not matter the order in which you put them in because you're still going to end up with the same volume. The order of the factors does not make a difference whatsoever. Now, I can tell you when you multiply them, if you were to do like the 6 times 4 first is 24, I wouldn't prefer to do that because now you're going to have double digit multiplication. So I was trying to multiply my double with a single so that my next one is also with a single. 24 times 12, I don't want that double digit. It's just a little bit more work and more room for error. So I always try to leave a single digit to be alone. So anyways, 12 times 6 is what I'll multiply together first. But again, doesn't matter the order as long as your multiplication is correct. So 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to drop down my 2 and regroup my 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. And now I'm going to do 72 times 4. 6, 7. Thank you so much. Oh, you got, okay, got you. Yes. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Whatever I can do to make you guys successful. I wish I could pull you guys in the morning, but it's just so hard with the planning thing. So, but anywho, I love my job, so it's great. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus, I love math. In case you didn't know, I actually love math. It's kind of sick, but I do. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then 4 times 7 is 28. So again, this is going to be your distractor. They're going to expect people to stop, and that is not the answer because that is only the volume of figure 1, but that will certainly be an answer choice. And a large percentage of kids are going to choose that. But if you take it a little bit further, now I just need to find the volume of figure 2. So I want you to take a moment and figure out what 3 numbers you're going to multiply together for that. Again, I don't care if you have the order correct, but you do need to have the 3 numbers correct. Whoa, sorry for the shakiness. My hand is tired of holding the camera. Okay, Ava says 8, 4, and 6. Oh, Ava, you're so close. The one that's missing is the height. It has the length and it has the width, but the height is not labeled. So follow the height around and see if you see it labeled somewhere else. You notice here, which is weird, is that it actually has different width. This one only goes back 4 wide, and this one goes back 6 wide. So what they share in common is actually their height. Close. Okay, so I don't have this, but I know they're all congruent. They're all the same height. So if I continue to follow it around, I actually have my length is 8 times my width is 4. And the missing one is your height. And if I follow it around, the height is also 4. You're so close though. So 8 times 4 times 4. Again, it doesn't really matter the order in which you choose to multiply them, but I'm just going to multiply them in the order they are. 8 times 4. And I've told you if you don't know your 8s, you could do double, double, double. So you double the 4 3 times. So double of 4 is 8. Double of 8 is 16. Double of 16 is 32. And then drop down your times 4 so that you're creating that equivalent value. And then you do 32 times 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. And 3 times 4 is 12. So again, distractor. People are going to stop there. What I need to do is I need to take those 2 values, those 2 volumes of each of those equivalent, the 2 volumes of each of those rectangular prisms, and join them together so that I'm able to find the volume of the composed figure. Composed means put together. So if you need to rewrite them going vertically, don't stop, won't stop. All right, I'm not stopping, easy, okay. So I'm just gonna add, yes, oh, chic. I love you, Ava. Where were you today in class to tell me don't stop? You guys don't know my tricks yet. I always do that. I'm always like waiting for you to catch me because I always purposefully stop early because I need you to recognize, and you just did. You totally recognized that I was getting lazy. All right, so 8 plus 8 is 16. Regroup my 1. 8 plus 2 is 10, but plus add that regroup digit. It's 11. And then 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. And you know what? I venture to guess that they'll have also on a test, and I just always think about what are they going to try to do to trick you because they're evil. They'll probably have 406 as a possible answer choice 2 instead of 416 because they think people will also forget to add that regroup digit. That's just That's what they do. They get paid to figure out how to trick you, to figure out what mistakes you're going to make. So 416 cubic feet, or if you remember feet cubed, that 3 just means it's a three-dimensional figure. There are 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. Okay, so I told you all you had to do for your homework is numbers 2 and 4. I don't know if you on here want to do number 6 or not, but you certainly do not have to. So if you're tuning in now and you want to tune out, you may tune out. If you want to just do the next one so that you have that extra practice for tests, practice for middle school, whatever, you can, because I can tell you in middle school you'll see something like this, but instead of only having 2, you'll end up with 3, which we saw a little bit on our iReady book. So I'm going to partition this shape, figure 1 and figure 2. This is the last one that I'll do because I won't make you guys crazy or nothing. But anyways, it's good practice for those who want it. What about the secret word? Ava and Nehemiah, you do not need a secret word. You automatically are going to get a treat for tuning in and actively participating. For all those other people who want a secret word, tough luck. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. How about their secret word can be zoos, and they can length times width times height, and they can turn that word in for a treat. See, I love you to it. That's my favorite emoji. That one with the poop one, anyways. Anywho, so length of figure 1 is 9 times the width of figure 1. The width is not labeled here, but if I follow it all the way around, I can see that it's 12. This is 12, so this would be 12. So this is 12. This is 12. 12. So the width is 12. And my height, Ava just gave me, is 6 right there. Darn it. Yes, I totally feel you. So those are the 3 dimensions for that. So I would just multiply those 3 numbers. And then for figure 2, the length is 27 times the width is 12 times the height is 6. Now I'm not going to go through and actually work out both of these for you. I just wanted to make sure that you understand how to find those dimensions. If you don't, you might just kind of look at some of these, rewind the video, and find the parts that you need. But that really is it, just finding those 3 dimensions for each of your figures. If you're missing a dimension, either subtracting to find a difference like we did here, or following the figure all the way around like we had to do there to find that one. And then you just join your 2 figures together. Anyways, have a great night. If you need any help, you could always leave a comment, drop a comment, and I can always come back on tonight and go over anything with you. Otherwise, my goal is to be on tomorrow night around 7 o'clock to do a test review. Bring any questions that you might have. And of course, we'll be doing a study guide tomorrow during class. You guys all have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.